In the 21st century, few leaders have reshaped global politics as dramatically as Xi Jinping. Since becoming China's top leader in 2012, he has guided the nation through a period of rapid transformation and growing international influence. Under his leadership, China has strengthened its economy, expanded its military, and increased its presence on the global stage. Many analysts believe that Xi's policies are aimed at making China the world's most powerful nation in the coming decades. His leadership style combines strong central control with ambitious long-term planning. Xi often speaks about the Chinese dream, which represents national rejuvenation and prosperity. Supporters say his vision has brought stability and growth. Critics argue that it concentrates power too heavily in one leader's hands. Regardless of opinions, his influence cannot be ignored. The world is watching closely as China rises. Global politics, trade, and security are increasingly shaped by decisions made in Beijing. This story is about how Xi Jinping is shaping the future of international power. Understanding his strategy helps explain many global events today. As nations compete and cooperate with China, Xi's leadership remains at the center of the conversation. Before becoming China's top leader, Xi Jinping had decades of political experience within the system of Chinese Communist Party. He served in several regional leadership roles, gaining a reputation for discipline and strategic thinking. His rise to power reflected both experience and strong political support within the party. When he became president of China, he inherited a rapidly growing economy, but also many challenges. Corruption within government institutions was a serious issue. Economic inequality between regions was growing. At the same time, China's role in global politics was expanding quickly. She launched a massive anti-corruption campaign to strengthen party discipline. Millions of officials were investigated or punished. Supporters viewed the campaign as necessary reform. Critics believe it also helped remove political rivals. Either way, it dramatically reshaped China's political landscape. Xi also promoted loyalty and unity within the party leadership. Over time, his authority grew stronger than that of many recent Chinese leaders. Today, he is considered one of the most powerful figures in modern Chinese politics. His leadership continues to influence both domestic policy and global strategy. One of the key elements of Xi Jinping's strategy is economic power. The economy of China has grown into one of the largest in the world, challenging traditional economic leaders like the United States. Manufacturing, technology, and global trade have helped fuel this growth. Chinese companies are now competing internationally in industries such as electric vehicles, telecommunications, and artificial intelligence. Xi's government has focused heavily on innovation and advanced technology. Major investments are being made in research, science, and infrastructure. These investments aim to reduce China's reliance on foreign technology. At the same time, China continues to be a central hub in global supply chains. Products made in China are sold across every continent. This economic reach gives Beijing significant influence in global markets. Many countries depend on Chinese trade and investment. However, economic competition with other major powers has also intensified. Trade tensions have emerged in recent years. These tensions reflect the growing rivalry between global economic giants. She believes economic strength is the foundation of national power. Beyond economics, Xi Jinping has emphasized China's growing military strength. The military of China, known as the People's Liberation Army, has undergone rapid modernization. New aircraft carriers, advanced fighter jets, and cutting-edge missile systems have been introduced. Military spending has increased significantly in recent years. These developments aim to strengthen China's defense capabilities and protect its national interests. She has repeatedly called for building a world-class military. This goal reflects China's desire to match or exceed other major military powers. Modern technology, such as cyber warfare and space defense, is also a priority. Military exercises have expanded in both scale and complexity. Regional security dynamics in Asia have become more intense. Neighboring countries are carefully watching China's growing capabilities. Some see it as a natural step for a rising power. Others worry about possible conflicts and regional instability. The balance of power in Asia is shifting. Xi's military strategy is a major factor in that transformation. Another major part of Xi Jinping's global strategy is diplomacy. China has expanded its diplomatic presence across the world. Under Xi's leadership, China has increased partnerships with countries in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Chinese diplomats are now active in global negotiations on trade, climate, and security. One of Xi's most famous initiatives is the Belt and Road Initiative. This massive infrastructure program connects dozens of countries through railways, ports, and highways. The goal is to strengthen trade networks and economic cooperation. Many nations have welcomed these investments. Others worry about debt risks and political influence. Despite debates, the initiative has expanded China's global footprint. Xi often promotes the idea of win-win cooperation. He argues that China's rise can benefit the entire world. However, geopolitical competition remains strong. Different nations have different views about China's growing influence. Diplomacy continues to shape how the world interacts with Beijing. Relations between China and the United States are among the most important factors in global politics today. Under Xi Jinping, this relationship has become more complex and competitive. The two countries cooperate on some global issues like climate change. At the same time, they compete in trade, technology, and military influence. Many experts describe this relationship as strategic rivalry. Trade disputes have led to tariffs and economic restrictions. Technology competition has intensified in areas such as semiconductors and telecommunications. Political tensions have also increased in recent years. Despite these disagreements, both nations remain deeply connected economically. Businesses and financial markets depend on stability between them. Leaders from both sides often emphasize the importance of dialogue. Avoiding conflict remains a top priority for the global community. However, competition for leadership in the 21st century continues. Xi's policies play a central role in shaping this evolving relationship. Technology is another battlefield in the competition between global powers. Xi Jinping has pushed China to become a leader in advanced technologies. Artificial intelligence, robotics, and quantum computing are major areas of investment. Chinese technology companies have expanded rapidly in recent years. Innovations in digital payments and online platforms have transformed daily life. Xi believes technological independence is critical for national security. Government programs support research and development across many industries. Universities and laboratories receive significant funding. At the same time, global competition in technology has become intense. Some countries have restricted certain Chinese technologies. Others continue to collaborate with Chinese researchers and companies. The future of global technology leadership remains uncertain. China's progress in this area is closely watched around the world. Xi's strategy focuses on long-term innovation. Technology may determine which nation leads the global economy. Global infrastructure development has become a major tool of influence for Xi Jinping. Through the Belt and Road Initiative, China has financed roads, ports, railways, and energy projects in many countries. These projects aim to improve trade connectivity across continents. Many developing nations see the initiative as an opportunity for economic growth. Large construction projects can create jobs and improve transportation networks. Chinese companies often lead these projects, bringing investment and expertise. However, some critics worry about financial sustainability. Certain countries have accumulated large debts from infrastructure loans. Supporters argue that long-term benefits outweigh these concerns. The initiative has expanded China's diplomatic relationships worldwide. It also strengthens economic partnerships across Asia, Africa, and Europe. Xi views infrastructure as a pathway to shared prosperity. The initiative reflects China's ambition to shape global trade routes. As these projects expand, their impact will continue to grow. Public opinion about Xi Jinping varies widely across the world. Inside China, many citizens credit him with strengthening national pride and economic stability. Government media often highlight achievements in development and modernization. Large infrastructure projects and technological progress reinforce this image. Internationally, perspectives are more diverse. Some leaders welcome China's investments and cooperation. Others express concerns about political influence and strategic competition. Human rights issues and political freedoms are also topics of debate. These discussions often shape diplomatic relationships. Despite differences, China's global role continues to expand. Xi's leadership style reflects confidence in China's future. He often emphasizes national unity and long-term planning. Supporters see him as a visionary leader. Critics believe his policies create tensions with other nations. The global conversation about Xi remains complex and evolving. As the world moves deeper into the 21st century, the leadership of Xi Jinping will likely remain a major influence on global affairs. The rise of China represents one of the most significant geopolitical shifts of modern history. Economic power, technological innovation, and diplomatic outreach all play a role in this transformation. Nations across the globe are adjusting their strategies in response. Cooperation with China offers opportunities for trade and development. At the same time, competition among global powers continues. The balance between rivalry and partnership will shape international stability. Xi's decisions will affect markets, security alliances, and political relationships. Observers around the world analyze each policy change carefully. The future of global leadership may depend on how these dynamics evolve. Whether through cooperation or competition, China's role cannot be ignored. Xi Jinping stands at the center of this historic moment. His vision for China will influence global politics for years to come. Another important aspect of Xi Jinping's leadership is his focus on national unity and ideological control. Under his rule, the government of China has strengthened its political structure and emphasized loyalty to the state. Schools, universities, and media organizations increasingly highlight national development and patriotism. She believes that a strong and unified society is necessary for China's long-term success. Government policies often focus on maintaining stability and social order. This approach reflects the leadership style of the Chinese Communist Party. Party leadership plays a central role in nearly every major national decision. She has also encouraged party members to remain disciplined and committed to national goals. Many policies emphasize the importance of collective progress rather than individual interests. This strategy is meant to maintain political stability during rapid economic and technological change. Supporters say it protects China's development. Critics argue that it limits freedom of expression. Regardless of the debate, the system continues to shape China's domestic environment. Political unity remains one of Xi's key priorities. It is seen as essential for competing on the global stage. Economic reforms under Xi Jinping aim to move China toward a more advanced and innovative economy. In the past, China's growth relied heavily on manufacturing and exports. Today, the government wants to develop high-tech industries and domestic consumption. Programs supporting artificial intelligence, renewable energy, and electric vehicles are expanding rapidly. Chinese technology firms are investing heavily in research and development. This shift is designed to keep China competitive with global leaders like the United States. The government also encourages entrepreneurs and private companies to innovate. Major cities have become hubs for technology startups. At the same time, state-owned enterprises still play an important role in strategic industries. Balancing state control with market growth remains a major challenge. Global economic trends also influence China's strategy. Trade partnerships, energy needs, and financial markets all affect development plans. She believes that innovation will drive the next stage of economic power. This vision shapes many national policies today. International trade remains a cornerstone of China's global influence. Under Xi Jinping, the country has strengthened its position as one of the world's largest trading nations. Chinese goods and technologies reach markets across Asia, Europe, Africa, and the Americas. Ports and shipping routes play a crucial role in this network. Trade agreements with many countries have expanded economic partnerships. Businesses worldwide rely on Chinese factories and supply chains. These connections make China an essential part of the global economy. However, trade disputes occasionally create tension with other nations. Tariffs, regulations, and technology restrictions have appeared in recent years. Despite these challenges, trade volumes remain enormous. Many countries continue to rely on China's manufacturing capabilities. Xi's government works to diversify trade routes and markets. This strategy helps protect China from economic pressure. The goal is long-term stability and growth in global commerce. Energy security is another major priority for Xi Jinping. As the economy of China grows, its demand for energy continues to increase. Oil, natural gas, and electricity are essential for industry and transportation. To meet these needs, China has invested heavily in both traditional and renewable energy sources. Solar and wind power projects have expanded rapidly. China is now one of the largest producers of renewable energy equipment in the world. At the same time, the country continues to import large amounts of oil and gas. This dependence encourages partnerships with energy-producing nations. Infrastructure projects often include pipelines, power plants, and transportation networks. Energy security is closely linked to economic stability. Xi's policies aim to ensure reliable supplies for decades to come. Investments in clean energy also support environmental goals. The balance between development and sustainability remains a challenge. Nevertheless, energy planning is central to China's future strategy. The role of global institutions has also become important in Xi Jinping's international strategy. China participates actively in organizations such as the United Nations and the World Trade Organization. Through these platforms, Chinese leaders promote international cooperation and economic development. Xi often speaks about creating a shared future for humanity. This concept emphasizes global partnerships and mutual progress. China contributes to peacekeeping missions and development programs. These efforts help strengthen its diplomatic relationships. However, debates sometimes arise about global governance rules. Different nations may have different visions for how international systems should operate. China's growing influence means its voice carries more weight in global discussions. Xi encourages reforms that reflect the interests of developing nations. Many countries welcome a more balanced global system. Others worry about shifts in traditional leadership structures. The debate continues as China's role expands. One region where Xi Jinping's policies have major impact is the Asia-Pacific. This region includes some of the world's fastest-growing economies. China shares borders and trade routes with many important nations there. Regional cooperation organizations have increased economic integration. Infrastructure and trade initiatives connect markets more closely than ever. However, territorial disputes and security concerns sometimes complicate relations. Countries carefully balance cooperation with strategic caution. Xi promotes dialogue and development partnerships across the region. Economic investment often strengthens diplomatic relationships. Ports, railways, and industrial zones create new opportunities. These projects also increase China's influence in regional trade networks. Neighboring nations watch China's rise with both interest and concern. Stability in the Asia-Pacific remains vital for global trade. Xi's diplomacy plays a key role in maintaining that balance. Another dimension of Xi Jinping's leadership is cultural influence. China has a long history of philosophy, art, and literature. The government promotes cultural exchange programs with other countries. Chinese language institutes and educational partnerships have expanded worldwide. Movies, music, and digital media also contribute to cultural influence. These efforts aim to strengthen China's international image. Cultural diplomacy can build trust and understanding between societies. Students from many countries travel to China for education. At the same time, Chinese students study abroad in large numbers. This exchange of knowledge and ideas connects nations more closely. She believes cultural understanding supports peaceful cooperation. Soft power complements economic and political influence. Cultural heritage becomes a bridge between civilizations. Through these efforts, China presents its traditions and modern achievements to the world. Infrastructure development within China itself has also accelerated under Xi Jinping. High-speed rail networks connect major cities across thousands of kilometers. Modern airports, bridges, and highways support economic growth. Urban development projects continue transforming skylines in many regions. Smart city technologies improve transportation and communication systems. These investments aim to raise living standards and productivity. Rural areas have also received new roads and digital connectivity. Development programs try to reduce regional inequality. The government sees infrastructure as the backbone of national progress. Massive construction projects create jobs and stimulate economic activity. These improvements strengthen domestic markets and logistics networks. She often highlights infrastructure as proof of China's modernization. The country's rapid transformation over recent decades is remarkable. These achievements contribute to national pride and confidence. Environmental challenges remain a significant issue for China. Rapid industrial growth created pollution and environmental stress in many areas. Under Xi Jinping, the government has introduced policies to address these problems. Investments in renewable energy and electric vehicles aim to reduce emissions. Forest conservation and water management projects have expanded. Environmental regulations are gradually becoming stricter. Cities are adopting cleaner transportation systems. The government also participates in global climate discussions. China's role in addressing climate change is increasingly important. Economic growth must now balance with environmental protection. She has emphasized the concept of ecological civilization. This idea promotes sustainable development for future generations. Global media coverage of Xi Jinping often reflects the importance of his decisions. Every major speech or policy announcement receives international attention. Analysts study China's economic plans and diplomatic signals carefully. Governments around the world try to understand Beijing's long-term strategy. News headlines frequently discuss China's relationship with the United States and other major powers. Economic data from China can influence global markets. Investors monitor policies affecting technology, trade, and finance. This level of attention shows how central China has become in global affairs. Xi's leadership style also attracts analysis and debate. Some view him as a transformative strategist. Others believe his policies increase global competition. Regardless of perspective, his influence is undeniable. Media narratives shape public understanding of China's rise. The story continues to evolve with each new development. Another significant goal of Xi Jinping is strengthening China's role in scientific research. Universities and laboratories across China receive major government investment. Space exploration programs have achieved impressive milestones. Chinese spacecraft and satellites demonstrate advanced engineering capabilities. Scientific innovation is considered essential for national competitiveness. International collaboration with researchers from many countries also continues. Conferences and academic partnerships encourage knowledge exchange. At the same time, competition in advanced technology fields is intense. Governments worldwide want leadership in space and digital innovation. She encourages young scientists to pursue ambitious discoveries. Scholarships and research funding help support these efforts. China's scientific achievements are becoming increasingly visible. These advancements contribute to economic and strategic strength. Education reform is another pillar of Xi Jinping's domestic policies. Schools across China emphasize science, mathematics, and technology skills. Universities expand programs related to engineering and digital innovation. Students are encouraged to develop creativity and entrepreneurship. Education plays a key role in preparing future leaders and professionals. The government also promotes vocational training for technical careers. Digital learning platforms have become more common in classrooms. Teachers receive training to adapt to modern educational methods. These reforms aim to strengthen China's knowledge economy. A highly skilled workforce supports industrial growth and innovation. She believes education determines long-term national strength. Investments in schools and universities reflect this belief. The success of these reforms will shape China's future workforce. China's urban population continues to grow rapidly. Under Xi Jinping, city planning and housing policies are evolving to manage this growth. Large metropolitan areas are expanding with new residential districts. Public transportation systems help reduce congestion and pollution. Smart technologies monitor traffic and infrastructure systems. Urbanization creates economic opportunities for millions of citizens. However, it also presents challenges related to housing affordability and environmental sustainability. Government planners try to balance development with quality of life. Green spaces and public services are included in many city designs. She has encouraged urban development that is efficient and sustainable. Cities act as engines of economic growth and innovation. Their success influences national prosperity. Managing urbanization effectively remains a major policy priority. Agriculture and rural development remain important for China despite rapid urbanization. Xi Jinping has launched programs to modernize farming and improve rural infrastructure. Farmers receive support for advanced equipment and technology. Irrigation systems and transportation networks help increase productivity. Rural education and healthcare services are also expanding. These initiatives aim to reduce the gap between urban and rural living standards. Agriculture remains vital for food security. China's large population requires reliable domestic food production. Research into crop science and sustainable farming is increasing. Rural tourism and local industries create additional income sources. She often emphasizes the importance of revitalizing rural communities. Balanced development across regions strengthens national stability. Rural policies, therefore, remain a key focus of government planning. China's financial system has also evolved during the leadership of Xi Jinping. Banks and financial institutions support both domestic development and international investment. The currency of China, the yuan, is gradually becoming more visible in global trade. Financial technology companies have introduced innovative digital payment systems. Mobile payments are widely used in everyday transactions. Regulatory reforms aim to strengthen financial stability. International investors continue to watch China's markets closely. Economic policies influence global commodity prices and supply chains. Xi's government aims to maintain steady growth while managing financial risks. Balancing openness with regulation is a delicate process. Financial stability supports the broader economy. These policies shape both domestic markets and international finance. Tourism and cultural heritage also contribute to the global image of China. Historic landmarks and natural landscapes attract millions of visitors. Under Xi Jinping, tourism development has expanded infrastructure and preservation efforts. Museums, historical sites, and cultural festivals highlight China's long history. International visitors experience both ancient traditions and modern cities. Tourism supports local economies and global cultural exchange. Promotional campaigns encourage travel to various provinces. Digital platforms help tourists plan their journeys more easily. Cultural heritage preservation remains an important national priority. She often speaks about respecting history while building the future. Tourism, therefore, becomes both an economic sector and a cultural bridge. Another factor shaping China's global role is demographic change. The population of China is aging as life expectancy increases. Xi Jinping's government has introduced policies addressing workforce and family planning challenges. Healthcare systems continue expanding to serve older citizens. At the same time, technological innovation may help offset labor shortages. Automation and robotics can increase productivity in many industries. Population trends influence economic planning and social policy. Governments must adapt to demographic realities. Xi's leadership faces the task of balancing growth with social welfare. These challenges are common in many developed economies. China's approach will shape its long-term development path. Demographic change, therefore, becomes part of the national strategy. Digital technology has transformed communication across China. Under Xi Jinping, digital infrastructure has expanded dramatically. High-speed internet and mobile networks connect millions of users. Online commerce has grown into one of the world's largest digital markets. Businesses use data analytics and artificial intelligence to improve services. E-commerce platforms allow small companies to reach national customers. Digital innovation supports economic modernization. However, the government also emphasizes regulation and cybersecurity. Protecting data and maintaining digital stability are considered important priorities. Technology policies balance innovation with control. The digital economy will likely remain a key driver of future growth. As China's influence expands, international cooperation remains essential. Xi Jinping often emphasizes dialogue and diplomacy with global partners. China participates in international conferences addressing climate change, health, and economic development. Cooperation can help solve global challenges that affect all nations. Scientific collaboration, humanitarian aid, and trade partnerships contribute to stability. However, geopolitical competition continues alongside cooperation. Different countries pursue their own strategic interests. Managing these relationships requires careful diplomacy. Xi's leadership focuses on balancing national goals with global engagement. The future of international politics may depend on this balance. Cooperation and competition will likely coexist in the years ahead. In the end, the story of Xi Jinping and the rise of China